This is a really big auspicious day. This is my first ever live location interview, and it is my great pleasure to introduce you to Colin Mackey of Mango Street. So hello, Colin.
Hello.
Hello, Colin. And as you can see from the background, Colin is based, Mango Street and Colin are based in a hub, a social enterprise hub. And again, it's also my great pleasure to say that my first interview is coming from one of Belfast's historic inner city working class communities on Sandy Row. And it's just fantastic that we're able to combine creativity, Colin's creativity and his social enterprise, Mango Street, with Belfast and one of our historic inner city working class communities. So it's really, really good. So maybe first of all, Colin, we can just maybe introduce yourself and then maybe talk about Mango Street.
Yeah, my name's Colin Mackey, and I'm the owner of Mango Street. It's a startup social enterprise based in Belfast that makes just raw juice from fresh fruits and vegetables. Whole idea then is to use a combination of the profits and the products to support local homeless shelters and the local homeless community.
Great. And what does that mean? So you mean you actually produce the juice
yourself?
Yep,
I handcraft just raw unpasteurized juice just from fresh fruits and veg. So it's all made downstairs, all bottled downstairs. They all distributed from downstairs, and then basically the whole idea is to supply to some local stores, local markets, local cafes and bistros as well. And then we would give like a donatory batch to just local shelters. The whole idea then is to use a combination of the profits generated from that, but also then the product itself just to promote sort of healthy eating and better practices, and maybe just give the residents of local shelters just something that they've never really maybe had before, and something that's a bit more, just a bit better than maybe than what they're getting already.
Wow, so this hub really is a hub. This is You're actually producing on site here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this part of the hub is more around it's like a workspace for with some of the other clients. So it's more like an office space. Whereas downstairs there was a retail space that was just lying vacant, and it was part of the test trading space. So people here at the South Belfast Social Enterprise Hub have been amazing in basically just providing a blank canvas for me to go in and turn like an old retail space into a kitchen.
Oh right, so you created a kitchen first of all?
Yeah, I had to basically turn it in, and then obviously adhere to all the health and safety standards and environmental health and all that. So,
was that a big challenge?
Yeah, because not being from a food background is a massive challenge. My background is more in kind of creative arts and media and stuff like that and retail. So moving then into something that was food based was a bit different, and especially given the way that I do it. So everything's raw, it's unpasteurized. There's nothing like it, so that was a bit of a headache for environmental health.
So you had to so there's retraining involved with what you're doing, plus also just hygiene standards, because it's not pasteurized, has to be at a really optimum level.
Yeah, that's it, and it's a total, I mean, you've only got a 3-day shelf life in the product as well, so it totally limits how and where you can trade and all that.
So you sort of like stood up, do you?
Pretty much just locked down for like 8 hours and go hell for leather at it.
And where do you source your produce from?
Yeah, so initially I was using just local independent fruit and veg, just suppliers. So the likes of just like the independent fruit and veg shops. Also John Breen down at St George's Market. Just as the orders have expanded, I've had to go to wholesalers, so the likes of North Down. So we'd just get it for those guys.
Oh right,
just
okay.
A local company.
Oh, fantastic! They deliver it here?
No, I go and pick it up from them.
Okay, and how do you do that?
So literally just fill the car up and get a shed load of oranges and a shed load of apples and everything else that's in the recipe list. So lucky enough, I've got like a set recipe list and a set core juices. And then
you crush them, your machinery.
Yeah. So it's just basically just commercial grade countertop juicers that just extracts all that juice and then puts all the pulp to one side. So and then all that pulp then would have got donated to local community garden allotment projects.
Oh, very good. And the juice, do you bottle the juice or is it Tetra Pak? Or
not glass bottle, 250 mils, and there was a litre variation as well.
And you put a wee
all sealed.
All sealed?
Yeah, all sealed, ready to go, all fresh, chilled for a few hours, and then out the door to local cafes and local markets and events.
And you have your own label?
Yep, everything, it's all own branding. All the branding was done by myself, website, everything. So yep, all own labelled. Yeah.
And did you have to retrain for the branding aspect, or were you fairly...
No, I mean, that has been something that's just, like I said, I've always had like a passion for creativity and media and digital media and things like that. So over geez, now it would be what, like 10, 12 years. I've just experimented with different just digital media basically, and then became self-employed around 2000 and geez, what would be now 2012. Basically just doing small startup media branding exercises, simple web projects. So as I've kind of went along with that, helping other people, my skills have just developed and developed and developed.
Oh, fantastic. So how did you then build up the network? How did you build up the network of, you obviously got that's the suppliers to supply the stuff. How did you then, for distribution, how did you build up that?
Look, I think people sort of gravitated towards it in the early stages. People sort of heard about what I was trying to do. I mean, I'm a one-man band, so it's quite hard. But people were kind of just heard, okay, there's this guy that's making juice and, you know, trying to help the local homeless community by doing it. So they sort of naturally kind of gravitated toward it, and been a lot of inquiries. What I did find though, like, I had to pick and choose kind of the right stockists. So it's a premium product, it's premium price, you know, so it's not going to be suitable for you know, certain markets and certain places and certain venues. So I had to sort of just pick and choose how I went about that, and obviously then I was targeting a few ones that I had in mind, so like Raw Food Rebellion and stuff like that, those guys in the Lisburn Road, you know, specialise in raw food, whole vegan lifestyle and what have you. So basically, yeah, it made sense to kind of pinpoint a few of the local, just in Belfast, because again, limited distribution.
I have never heard of, what's it called, Raw Food Rebellion?
Raw Food Rebellion, it's amazing.
What do they do?
It's basically just a whole raw vegan menu.
Okay.
It's
a restaurant, is it?
Yeah, it's a coffee.
Right.
I think they're trying to do a deli in it, I think, as well. But it's a great spot. Just up in Lisburn Road.
So and they're happy. They supply you supply them.
Yep.
And that's a private sector. That's a business.
Well, that was it. You know, because kind of my original thinking was like, when this all kind of started, like I had this idea that I wanted to just use business as a tool for good. It was that simple. That was it. Just a growing belief, and basically it was kind of the whole idea was to sort of, this is actually sounding a wee bit cheesy now looking back on it, but it's like near enough to be like Robin Hood. So if I could offer like a premium offering to people, and take their money and do something good with it that really addressed an issue that I felt strongly about, then happy days. You know, that's it. Simple.
And that's a really interesting thing. You say business for the common good, was it?
Yeah, it was just basically just to use business as a tool for good. You know, that was my whole sort of ethos, and still is. You know, that basically business should be about more than just profit. It's as simple as that.
And in terms of training, you mentioned just pre-interview that you were doing, is it the Spark program? What's it?
Yeah, Entrepreneurial Spark. Yeah, so basically it's like a 6-month business accelerator program that allows you to basically just put, I think it goes from like idea generation stage where somebody's there basically just with an idea to somebody who's been trading like 3 or 4 years. So it's a whole mixed spectrum of businesses with variety of industries, variety of products and services and what have you. So it's really just to try and kind of motivate you. Their whole mantra is go do. So it's just to motivate you to basically go do and just keep going forward, moving forward, and just learning new skills and introducing you to a whole host of new ideas, like, you know, lean startup and like the importance of pitching to investors and all that. So no, it's been hugely beneficial, great learning experience.
And what stage do you feel that you're at now?
Startup, without a doubt. I don't think I'll ever get past the startup phase, because I don't think you ever really truly move out of startup, because there'll always be maybe like a new product that you're going to launch, or a new market that you're going to go into, or something else that's going to bring you back to that sort of early stage development. You know, like it took me, I mean, the idea for this came like January 2014, and it took me the guts, basically with the help of the South Belfast Social Enterprise Hub. It took me, well, it was 10 months independent market research and looking into everything and planning. Got in touch with the hub around about October 14, and we spent the guts of, I think it was about 9 to 10 months before actually opened the doors and started test trading. So yeah, it's been a long road, but it's been hugely beneficial. Brilliant. I mean, there's obviously things that you'd want to do differently, you know, looking back on, but that's the whole nature of test trading. You know, you kind of look at situations and you go, gee, I wouldn't have done that, or I could have done that better, or what have you. So It's been amazing. It's been a massive learning curve. You know.
Anything standing out with that?
Probably remembering that I am not my customer. That's been probably the big, like, I am not my customer.
Can you say anything more about that?
It just comes down to, like, I mean, there's certain things in certain areas that I was very adamant that I wouldn't, you know, kind of maybe waver on. And in a business sense, when you look at that and you go, well, okay, you can be so moralistic in terms of, okay, maybe the way you make your product or how you package your product. So I package in glass, but glass is quite expensive. Glass is heavy. You know, there's certain limitations of where you can trade with glass. So, you know, there was wee things like that maybe I wouldn't have been so stubborn, you know, on how I went about those initial ideas. Don't know. That's probably the one thing. Trying to think if there's anything else. That's been the key. That's probably been the key one.
Was there an extra cost with glass over any other form?
No, it's just slightly more expensive, you know, and it's, like I said, it's heavier, and then in terms of just health and safety as well, in terms of like environmental health and things like that, you know, you've got to be careful how you store it, where you store it, say, in your premises, and then not only that, you know, like I said, you've got limitations to where you can trade. So for talk's sake, if I wanted to apply for the Sunflower Fest, you know, tomorrow I couldn't because they have a no glass policy.
What's the Sunflower?
Just a local music festival up at Lisburn. You know,
okay.
So it's just things like that. You know, you can't do certain things just given the way that it's packaged for retail at this stage. So yeah, it's just one of those things. Now, saying that, what I was trying to do with the glass was have like a bottle back scheme. So basically, customers could return their glass.
That's
that was
real old style.
Yeah,
I remember doing that as a kid.
It was just one of those things. So it's like, well, retro 250ml glass bottles. So it was like, well, okay, if I could take this back and then have like a loyalty scheme. So, you know, if you would go to any like the coffee shops, you know, you get a stamp. So every glass bottle that was returned, you would get a stamp, and they would give you a free juice once the card was filled. So that was it. It was just another wee way to sort of reduce the waste and reduce the impact and reuse and sort of think beyond just the core social mission, but sort of how can I make this business as near enough as ethically as possible throughout. And that was one of the ways of doing it.
Is that up and running, or is that?
Yeah. That was one of the first things from day one. That had to be in place. You know, if I'm using glass, well, this is the way it's going to be. So yeah.
Okay, good. It's just a few really key questions I want to ask you here. So how do you feel you achieve your social impact?
Well, if you go to my website, you'll see like I've developed just like a live tracker, just something really, really simple. So what you can see is, I mean, basically, I'm a massive believer in that there needs to be some kind of record of your social impact, of your social enterprise from like as early as possible. And I don't think it doesn't matter if it's like, you know, a penny or whatever, you know, if whatever the small drop in the ocean is, it's still important because it's part of that impact. I think it just shows like a level of integrity and a level of honesty and transparency, you know, and those are qualities that consumers and potential investors will want to see, you know, and I think it's just about having that integrity to basically say, look, you know, this is the difference that I'm making. It mightn't be the biggest difference in the world in terms of its quantity, but it's still a step forward into something on a bigger picture. So like one of the ways obviously is tracking the amount of bottles that's been donated to local shelters. One of the other ways is obviously then the monetary value, the monetary donations. We also developed like an honesty box. So basically when say I was at St George's Market or different events and what have you, people could contribute just an honesty box. Because I got people saying, look, it's a bit expensive, you know, £3 a bottle, but you know, I've taken a sample, I would like to give you like 50p or a pound or whatever like that. And so I was thinking, well, if I took that and each quarter then donated whatever was in that to one shelter, that was another way. I mentioned about the pulp, so the pulp went to local community garden allotment projects. That was primarily Peace Park up at Skillshare. What else was there? There was, I'm trying to think, there were so many, just different wee ways on the website. Like, just wanted to show people this is the difference, that this is what we're trying to actually do. But long term, you know, they were all really outputs. For me, being such at an early stage now, what I really want to look at is what difference now is that having in those settings, in those shelters, you know, seeing what the benefit is to the residents, you know, to the social beneficiaries, the people in them that utilise the services, but also the organisation as a whole. Long term, the main social mission for all is to employ people that are maybe coming out of the homeless cycle, sort of be like a disruptive force at that end stage where maybe you've got like a rough sleeper, they've went into like respite services, they've went into sort of like a sort of short-term accommodation, looking to be rehoused, nothing then really here to give them an opportunity to break that cycle. So if I would provide some kind of position of employment and training, or work with people that do that and be a vehicle or a mechanism for those people to maybe gain some kind of experience and employment, and for me, knowledge is key. So you can throw all the money you want in the world at kind of those early stage interventory services, but realistically what you're dealing with is people that maybe just need to be just reintegrated. There's a lot of dehumanisation that goes on with the local homeless community, so it's maybe trying to break all those stigmas and the kind of the negative connotations that are associated with that community, and just be a mechanism for, it sounds cheesy to say, hope, or just as an option, basically.
Fantastic. Yeah. Well, that's fantastic. So just in terms of how you're not governed but managed, or even just set up, or how you constituted?
CIC. Again, this is something that I'm being at the early stages of trading. This is something that I want to really get my in place. Develop, expand the board. Like I said, I'm a one-man band in terms of kind of just the management of it all. I've had volunteers come in and help out at different sort of aspects of the process, in terms of production, but also selling, like St George's Market or whatever. But so really what I want now is to try and kick on with the board and get a really good board in place that could be utilised better, and just tap into that network, because I'm new to the whole social enterprise sector. So to get people with that experience involved ASAP would be amazing.
And do you so, and then going on from that, then how are you funded?
I've got a massive belief that it's again probably to my own detriment. It's something that maybe would have changed quite early on, but if you're a social enterprise, you're not that much different from a private business. Again, you have to, for me, to be a social enterprise, you have to generate a profit. There's a misconception here locally that profits is a bad word, and it's great to see that it's actually that mentality's changing now, because from what I've gathered, the sector here has been totally sort of reliant on grant funding. What I wanted to do was come in with a product that you could sell, that would generate funds, and that all just goes back into the business and then goes to support whatever you have left in those external bodies. Don't get me wrong, I've availed of Unlimited, and like of here, this hub's been supported by the Northern Ireland Executive and DSD and what have you. So there has been wee elements there that have helped me again get out downstairs. Partly sort of change part of the structure and what have you, and a bit of capital build. But for me, I think if you can get to basically being self-reliant as quickly as possible and show that you can do that and demonstrate that ability is key to being a social enterprise for me. But then that, it's funding's out there, people are going to take it. I think I'll probably be more open to taking more funding at this stage, because it's been a hard route.
We'll come back to that. And how do you interact with with the idea of the market then?
In terms of
your product, and you even talking about you're definitely where your product is in terms of maybe social media or just getting your market out. You mentioned these sort of local restaurants that you're supplying, and maybe we just talk about that to start with.
Yeah, it's sort of, again, it's really just trying to come out from a purely commercial perspective, because at the end of the day, you're setting up a social enterprise. The product or your service can't be half baked. It has to stand up on a quality bar for me. And if I was pitching something as a premium product, it needs to be up there with the best. And without a doubt, nobody can question the quality of that juice, to be honest. And it has the reception that it gets is amazing. People taste it and it's like they've never tasted anything like it. I think that's because it is 100% raw. There's no additives, there's no preservatives, there's no stabilizers, there's no added water, there's no added sugars. It's literally just the juice from raw fruit and veg. So if you get that combination right of those ingredients, then you're on day winner. You know, it's not rocket science. So I think it's just trying to understand like how and where, what they would expect. You know, I think what I sort of said earlier, there was, you know, about being folk. I mean, I'm not my customer. You know, my customer base is predominantly female. You know, again, tying in with the whole sort of juice movement, people are more sort of open to, they've probably experimented at home with different juices and smoothies and all that. You know, if you go into any restaurant now, you'll see in-house green, blah, 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 busters, you know. And for me, it was kind of looking at all that was going on and going, well, I can sort of do that, but do it differently. So it was straight away, you know, reflecting parts of my sort of character, you know, black and white, and like the colour of the juices do the talking. So it was simple black and white labeling. All the branding was all black and white, well, slightly like off grey black. Heavily musical influence. So initially I was going to go down the road of like naming the juices after songs, but I thought, again, that's quite cliched. So I went just down numbers, so they've all got their own number identifier, but there's always going to be wee references to Joe Strummer throughout it all, because Mango Street is actually a really rare B-side from from the late 80s. I'm a massive music fan, massive Clash fan, massive fan of Joe Strummer. So in the unit downstairs there's actually a massive mural to Joe Strummer. I got a local artist to do.
Cool.
So yeah, it's pretty amazing. Like, and so yeah, it was just a wee nod to that.
How do you know your females as a female millennials, or how did you find
pretty much
that?
It's really just by test trading, and sort of looking at the venues that I was trading at, looking at their customer demographic. Then obviously being at different markets, different events, you know, vegan festivals, going to, again, like St. George's Walk, and just seeing the clientele and just gauging, and just quite quickly you started to see that it was sort of millennial females with disposable income. That was it. I think that those products are I think it's what they expect, you know, when you've got the whole celebrity boom, the celebrity green juice and all that kind of crap. And then you've got, you know, again, people that have probably seen, you know, the all the Jason Vale stuff and all of Fat, Sick and Nearly Dead stuff. And it's like they're exposed to the product nearly. So it's mainly aimed at those guys.
What social media are you using?
Using Facebook, which is just a necessary evil. I'm trying to like look into that a little more in terms of like how can I utilize it better. Twitter, which has been massive, so taking part in like different networking hours, and it's just that instant communication that really probably I just find it easier because it reflects my probably personality, quite conversational, and I like the way it's just short, you know, and you don't have. You'll probably see from this, like I like to waffle a bit, so you've no opportunity to waffle. You know what I mean? It's like
140 characters.
Yeah, it's it. Keep the waffle to a minimum, like. So that, and then Instagram. So the reason really why I just started Instagram was I needed visual content, so it forced me to create visual content for the other platforms. So, and I think just given the nature of the product as well, it just makes sense. Anything food related, anything really, just product related, but specifically food. Get it on the Instagram, and then obviously then you can filter through into Twitter and Facebook, but Twitter's the biggie.
And then after today, you'll be moving on to Snapchat, Colin.
Maybe we'll see.
You know, so and then lastly, you know, what specific challenges and opportunities have you associated with managing this form of business?
Like for me, I think like social enterprise is like the hardest thing you could ever probably do in terms of setting up a business. Basically, it comes down to you're creating a product or a service that's going to want to be beneficial to a certain selection of people. So there's going to be natural cynicism with that. You know, people will think, oh yeah, you're just doing this for, you know, the whole idea of heropreneurship and all that. You know, you're just doing it for that reason. It's all ego driven. Maybe there needs to be an element of that, but at the same time, there'll be an overriding social commitment there that'll always undercut that. But people will naturally be. I mean, I've experienced it firsthand. You know, the cynicism. You know, local competitors looking at, oh, you're only getting so where because this social blah blah blah. But it doesn't matter. You mean if you have a crap product, nobody's going to buy it. So you only achieve nothing. You know what I mean? And you only can create a social impact from a profit. Do you know what I mean? So it's important having that quality boiler. So I think, you know, just setting up and getting something off the ground is massively challenging, because you have to work on those barriers. You know, you're going to be coming into a market where, you know, I've heard things from like potential investors and going, oh, I don't know, because at the end of the day it's a social venture, you know, and it's a weird sort of grey area, because I don't think people really understand what social enterprise is, or there's still like a bit of a lack of understanding there, because it's such a clouded. I mean, I remember like I tried to start like a social enterprise chat, so it did, and people thought it was to do with social media, you know, and there's this weird sort of like cross section where it just doesn't communicate well to people. People just can't understand how can a business help, you know, and turn a profit and help something. Where else was it going with this? It was sort of just
it's basically it's challenges and opportunities.
I think the opportunity here, like locally, is massive. You can even see just with the interest from like setting up the hubs. You know, what was that, 2.5 years ago now? There's definitely a movement of people that want to just make a difference in a business capacity. I think the whole idea of millennials and stuff like that, the thinking is that they're not wanting to go down the same road as maybe the parents in previous generations. They're wanting to make just that difference, you know, and you know, my mission statement at Mackey is to be that difference, you know, and it is, you know, it's literally how can you just make a difference. It is, it's that simple. Planet's upside down, and man, I'll never forget, I was a guy, and I remember in his gym, it was an old guy, an old gentleman, it must have been about his 70s, and he always said to me, he was complaining about like people at Asda coming out for like Black Friday and queuing to get like TVs, and when they went in they got like no TVs, because they basically were lying to people, you know, that there was these TVs there at this Asda underneath our gym.
Oh, they were fighting?
Yeah. And he's going on, and he was just giving it off, and that line always stayed with me, just about the planet is effing upside down, you know what I mean, and it is, you know, it's crazy, you know, you look at the stuff that's going on, and we're all here, like, you know, and it's just basically trying to make the best of it as we can, while we can, you know. Can
I go ask, whenever you were saying really something interesting about the governance and management, and what I wanted to ask, build on that, was just how, you know, you, in terms of networked out, you know, in terms of even export, or in terms of even just, you know, you mentioned unlimited, that's a big sort of UK-wide initiative. You know, how do you see your voice, like say as a local Belfast-based startup, can reach outside of here? Have you been approached?
Yeah, I mean, I've actually had a few inquiries from the mainland about like setting up an equivalent. Basically, the thing was to always, that it wasn't just going to be Belfast based. What I wanted to do was make it regional. So you basically replicated the model throughout cities and towns around the UK and tied in with local shelters to help local communities and help those local homeless communities, those local shelters, those local people. So it allowed the people in those cities to basically use their money to help, you know, because the thing was, well, why would somebody want to buy a juice in, say, London to help a shelter in Belfast or Coventry? You know, it would make sense for them if it was made there to help the people that was there.
And also you mentioned the 3-day shelf life as well.
Yeah, so I mean, this is something that I've been looking at the minute. I'm looking at just some clean technologies that will allow me to basically circumvent that and really just extend that shelf life out to like 30 days. I'm looking at having sort of like a completely raw line, you know, so because people love that, but at the same time some people just want a juice and they don't really care if it's 100% raw or, you know, if it's been HPP'd or if it's been even pasteurized. You know, for me, pasteurization was just too crazy because you're killing lots of goodness.
What's HPP?
HPP, so it's this new technology called high pressure processing. So basically you take the juice, you put it into a massive sort of steel chamber. Now it has to be packaged in plastic to allow it to expand and allow the pressure to hit the packaging. So basically you put in this whole massive like conveyor belt of just this big like silver bullet, blast it with like this cold water pressure. What it does is break down then the molecular structures of the kind of the bad bacteria and what have you. So it basically you navigate around that whole issue that you had, say, with the 3-day shelf life, in terms of it being suitable for, you know, members of the public. Longer shelf life means basically, you know, the likes of those bad bacteria and all won't exist then beyond, because basically if you've got something there 3 days, those bacteria will start to form, you know, a week or two later. So that's why, you know, it has to be 3 days. You know, you're getting it into somebody's system as quickly as possible,
Right.
because with it being unpasteurized. So this is just a technique that does that cleaner. So not only does it extend the shelf life in terms of making it safer for the public, but also in terms of a business sense, it makes sense.
Does that help with scalability then?
Yeah, it's going to help massive. So basically the likes of, I've been talking with the Biancourt group. They have a new hotel opening.
Who is it?
Biancourt, own the merchant.
Oh, right. Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
so they have a new hotel opening up in Hunt Street and Victoria Street. So we've been talking with them about like supplying like the bar and the lounge, and obviously the rooms as well, and a breakfast drink. So just the raw wines and stuff like that as well. So in terms of the quantities that they're going to be looking on a regular repeat basis,
What do you think attracted them to come to you?
I think gathering from the discussions, they wanted to. They're a very successful organisation, massively,
very much
so. But what they want is an opportunity to bring in more sustainable businesses into their fabric. So we were launching this new project, and they were like, "Well, let's do it," And it was quite weird because I'd only met them for the first time. It was about a month ago now, and basically the murmurings were for like a few months now that they've got it in the menu for the hotel, and I was like, well, I haven't met them yet, so how is this possible? But they just loved it that much, and like their former exec chef and stuff like that passed information on and samples on and stuff like that, and that's how it just came about. I think they just want something a bit more.
I suppose it's
local,
unique.
It's unique.
Very good for their market. Feeds into their marketing.
Massive, so it just makes sense, and this massive successful company, and I think people are wanting to, the whole idea of CSR and stuff like that. Even the big corporations are wanting to seem to be making a difference now.
Going back to that, what you're talking about is how to maybe systemize the business to maybe replicate it across the UK and Ireland.
Yeah. So that's it. So basically, what I want to do is just replicate it across the country. And an easier way to do that would be to take the product into basically make an additional line. So rather than uprooting everything and just going, right, we're going to move here and we're going to go there, because there's a lot of massive costs involved in that. So if I could pair up with contract manufacturers, say in the mainland, who can make the juice to my spec, you know what I mean, and then you're tying in with them maybe HPP, so this new line of juice, there's massive potential then with that in terms of sales in the mainland and the difference you can make on the mainland, so and the overall social impact.
It wouldn't be done as much as on a very localised basis, whereas it started off here very localised within South Belfast, Sandy Row, and then you were literally, as you say, going to get your van and then taking it a few 100 metres, half a mile down the road or up the Lisburn Road. So what you're saying in terms of scalability, the distance could be greater?
Yeah, definitely. But not only that, and I like that idea of the localised aspect of it, where people can have that sense of community then with it. So you're basically in a, say for talk's sake, Bristol, for me, if they was able to have that juice handcrafted in Bristol, tying in with that city's economy, supporting those local businesses and then supporting their local homeless shelters. Bristol, for instance, has I think it's the highest rate of homelessness outside of London.
Really?
Yeah, so basically you're kind of, if you can, it's just about creating that sense of community, and that's something that I always kind of wanted to do, was this is more than just it's more than just juice. I always envisaged it as a brand as well, so the juice was just going to be one product and a longer sort of project and a longer venture.
What other organisations who have you interested in scaling this up? I'm just
at the minute I haven't really thought outside of where I'm at the minute. I've got the likes of Yahi on board. So
who is this?
Yahi, so the local eatery down in Great Northern Mall. So if they've got, they're owned by the Henderson Group, right. Things like that. So there's potential there to scale up through that.
I got my impression is, do you work 7 days a week at the moment, Colin?
If there was 8, I would work it. And
so because you're doing a lot.
Yeah.
You're actually doing the whole production side, plus you're doing the marketing side, plus you're doing the high end. Meeting and greeting, negotiating. Getting out there, networking. So how do you feel that can't go on forever. So how do you, what changes?
Yeah, well, so much so, like, I mean, that's past sort of few weeks, I've just got to the stage where I just totally burnt myself out. And I just hit a wall where this was like, I can't continue as I'm growing at the scale, and being a predominantly one-man band, again, that, have for bits of help here and there along the way, in terms of like the actual manufacturing and distribution. But I got to a stage where actually I made myself sick. There was one weekend where I was like bedridden and had to get my girlfriend to make the juice and stuff like that. And basically that was kind of the moment where I sort of realised, geez, this can't continue. I'd felt it coming, and for me now, it's trying to build the team and get people involved that have like a similar ethos, a similar idea in terms of what we want to do. And that's also like at an advisory board level, but also day-to-day operations. And that's really it. I think that's essential. And I think self-care as well is massive. Like I think, looking back, one of your earlier questions about some of the challenges or stuff that maybe they'd like to change, and that's probably one thing I would definitely do differently is prioritise time for self-care, and you move away from trying to do everything as efficiently and as much as I can in a 24-hour day, because it's crazy, when you're getting up at like 5 a.m, go pick up fruit and vegetables, then go down, make some juice, drop off some juice, all day, throughout the day, trying to like schedule meetings, trying to, update social media, trying to update websites, trying to generate sales, all of that, basically doing absolutely every aspect of the business it's just not going to work, you know what I mean? But it was, the reason why I wanted to do it was to see what was involved and push the limits of what was possible, and test capacity and see, right, well, what can I do as a one-man band alone, and basically, yeah, just try and push the boundaries, because I've always prided myself on like having a strong work ethic, no matter what I did. So whether it was, when I worked in a clothes shop, or when I worked in, a local, off sales, to, being self-employed, my employment history throughout, and the jobs in between that, is always, I'll do as much as I can, as best as I can. So when this is your baby and this is something that you've created from nothing, you've created the products, you've created like every aspect of this, it's that kind of nurturing and wanting to be involved in everything and trying to just get a handle of how, because it was all just new, so it's trying to get a handle on how all this sort of works and stuff like, but hard work
to start
take a step back and that's it. I've literally just taken a few weeks off now, really just looking, right, well, how am I going to expand, because massive order there pending and stuff, so it's like, okay, right, how can I, it's not great for business, don't get me wrong, because I've had to say to suppliers, look, you're not going to get anything for a few weeks while I sort of iron out a few creases here and change how production's run and what have you. So it's in one way it's great, but in other ways it can be quite detrimental. When all the rumours start about, oh yeah, it's stopped and blah blah blah, and generated by competitors and all that kind of crap, and you're like, no, so still here, not going away.
Well done. Just last you mentioned about interest in potential funders. Yeah. Like, what was their nature of that sort of funding that we were interested in coming in to support you?
What do you, in terms
was it bank funding, or was it venture capital coming in here?
It was just private. There was just a couple of private rumorings. There was a guy, one of my first weeks at St George's Market, walked past, looked at everything, was like, love it, here's my card, I'm in the rock and roll business, give me a shout. Never seen him again, never heard him since. I was like wide-eyed, didn't know what he was at, and then I bumped into him randomly again at another event, just at the middle of May, and so we talked, and so we're going to have a chat and see what's possible, but it's just private, mainly just private people. I always like the idea of kind of, I didn't know how to go about it, but taking it to, this is going to sound again so cheesy, but it's like giving it to the people nearly, so again going down like a crowdfunding route maybe, and I want to get people involved and make it more than just about you know, me, it's because it's far from it. You know, this is a whole bigger idea, you know, and to have people's involvement in it and have customers involved in it as much as possible is crucial, you know.
Crowdfund, because you can do rewards, you can give people local rewards, you can get free juices.
I think that's it. You know, I've seen a few people. I've known a few people that do it at varying degrees of success. You know, and I think it's one of those things like you near enough need somebody to kind of manage it and sort of who specialises in it, say, or you know, just basically, yeah. If it's not done right, it can be a bit embarrassing. I think, you know, it can be. You know, and I've seen a few projects, you know, good ideas failed because the campaign maybe wasn't run right, or the dedication wasn't there. Or they were thinking, oh, geez, this is a great product. You know, we'll smash this, and it doesn't.
No, it's all the preparation.
Yeah,
before the campaign.
That's what I've heard. Like, so it's one of those things I just don't want to jump into and have a rattle at. You know, I want to sort of think about it and structure it right and what have you. But it would be a cool idea just to bring that back and involved and just get people more involved with it. Rather
my toppings of advice would be to get your business
stable,
and then before you, because the money, if you crowdfund, you get another private investor in, is to probably expand.
Yeah.
And if you're going, you know, you need all that in place.
That's it. You know what I mean? I think you know, people see through sort of, you know, it even goes back to the whole idea of social enterprise. You know, people see through crap. Do you know what I mean? And when somebody's, you know, just waffling, you know, or there's no passion there, or they're basically just doing something to jump on a bandwagon. You know, and people will see through that.
So
you
the crowd knows crap.
100%. You know what I mean? They will. You know, and it goes back even to the whole idea of like social impact. You know, people, for me, like if you aren't displaying that, you know, because that's your big, you know, battle cry. You know, and lucky enough as a CIC, you know, you obviously get regulated by the CIC regulator. You know, everything has to be made public. What have you? You know, and their approach to like measuring impact and reporting your impact to them is like, you know, we use it, you know, waving your flag, like, and it's massive because that is, you know, what differentiates you. That's your purpose. You know, for me, that's why this was always envisaged as a brand, because the mechanism and the vehicle to achieve my ultimate goal, is, you know, to help local shelters, local homeless community. It doesn't matter what I sell. Really, it doesn't matter if I'm selling juice, you know, chocolate buttons, do you know what I mean, or offering a service. You know, really, my ultimate goal is my social mission and my impact. You know, but to do that in a quality way. Yeah. You know, that's quality mechanism.
That's your why.
That's the why, and that's the most important thing. Was Simon Sinek, isn't it?
Yes.
You know, and that's the most important thing, is that your why. You know, and this is why I'm doing it. You know, and it all stems. I didn't even get into this, but it all stems from an experience I had in 2011 in Vegas, and just seeing like the homeless plight there, and it was just this woman that always stayed with me. Like, it was just this lady on the Vegas walkways between the casinos and all that. All she wanted was a drink of water, and she was heavily pregnant to the point where, you know, she wasn't not far off being due, and all she wanted was a drink of water. And so to see the level of excess and people just walking by and ignoring her with, you know, these yards of Jägermeister and all sorts of crap, and it just struck a chord with me. And then find out more about the homeless situation in Venice Beach, and like how they turn
Venice Beach, California,
and
really?
LA. So basically they sell their signs. You know, that's one mechanism that they use to kind of generate an income. And I found it quite, you know, entrepreneurial, really. So they've got these like handwritten signs, you know, but with all like quips and jokes and things, and you know, like what one stood out was like, please give me $1 because my dad was killed by ninjas and I need karate lessons, or something like that. You know what I mean? So it's adding a bit of humour, you know, given their situation, but you know, it's a way to engage with people as well.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So we're seeing all that, and that just struck a chord with me. I was working within a local social enterprise in terms of like offering training and employment for NEETs, and just unfortunately with that the funding dried up, and I was left unemployed, became self-employed. But the whole social aspect always stayed with me. I always wanted to work within social enterprise, you know, the community voluntary sector. So, and just try and make a difference, and just stems back to homelessness, you know, and it was just that one experience, and it was just, it just didn't sit well with me. And then just given obviously what's happened over the years, you know, you even see it most recently now in terms of like, you know, the deaths that we had in the streets in Belfast like at the beginning of the year and stuff like that. It's just, you know, there's no reason for it to exist, and unfortunately it's going to be one of those things that probably will always exist, because there'll always be a situation. You know, people will always say, you know, campaigns on end homelessness, end homeless. You can't, because you're dealing with a much bigger fish, you know what I mean? You're dealing with a whole host of, you know, mental, physical abilities, you know, you're dealing with a whole load of different social factors, you're dealing with people that have maybe came from a, you know, that have a whole host of backgrounds, you don't know, I mean, it's such a melting pot of experience.
Well, all I'd like to say is that it's fantastic that you have decided to found Mango Street, and that is it in your heart.
That's it.
I think it's a great, and I really thank you very much. It's a fantastic, my first ever case study for social enterprise. Colin has been an exceptional interviewee. He's been very good, very supportive of this interviewer. So listen, thank you very much, Colin, and I really thank you very much.
No worries, thank you.